Happy Friday Eve. Thanks for tuning in to our...
You are listening to 90.3 WMSC up in Montclair, New Jersey.
Happy Friday Eve. Thanks for tuning in to our Thursday edition of the Morning Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, the voice of Montclair, successfully bringing you Morning Buzz shows from Monday to Friday. And we're here keeping you in touch with the latest news and sports updates with a little dash of oddities to brighten your morning. Today is our last show of the fall semester. The Thursday edition. We do have a show tomorrow, which will be the last Friday edition of the Morning Buzz as well. So please tune in tomorrow as well. And we also have a special treat for our listeners today. So the Dean of the College of Arts here at Montclair State University, Dean Gerskis, is joining us to recap the impact of COVID-19 on the many departments under the College of the Arts, as well as providing us some insights on what the upcoming spring semester may look like. And on to our favorite part of the show, introducing ourselves. I'm Kaya Masiak, host, and my co-host.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Crystal Santos. And of course,
yes,
our news contributor. Good morning.
Hi, it's Mary.
It's Mary, back at it again, to giving us the news updates in the world. So before we go into our cooler water talk that I'm sure everyone enjoys, Mary, tell us what's going on in the world of news today.
Well, I found some really lighthearted news for today. So in local news, Wawa is opening their first drive-thru in West Hampton. This comes amidst the pandemic, with businesses implementing new ways to find their products to the public in a safer manner. The drive-thru is going to open this Friday. In the U.S., a California resident pays off his boss's 48-year-old library fine for a book as a Christmas gift. Kenny Newell found his boss, Tony Goodman's checked out looking for pirates in 1972 and took it upon himself to pay it off as a joke, hopefully lightening the mood somewhat for the gloomy year. And in Berlin, a painting worth more than $250,000 was found in a nearby recycling bin after a businessman forgotten it at the check-in counter. The surrealist painting by Yves Tongish, I hope I didn't butcher that, was found after the businessman's nephew went back to the airport, talked to police, and located it in the paper dumpster frequently used by the airport's cleaning company. And today's weather is snow with a high of 31 and a low of 18 with a 90% chance of precipitation. Today we're going to have 72% humidity and a sunset at 4:31.
I never thought I would hear our news contributor say, it's snowing. I don't know, I just thought about this time.
It's the first snowfall of the winter time. Well, technically it's not winter time just yet. We do have a couple of days, but winter came earlier. I don't know if that's something that we should be excited about. Snow came a little bit earlier. I feel like that's something a little bit more exciting. That's actually really interesting. There was this painting that was worth $250,000 that was thrown in a recycling bin. And then we're seeing that people are just being really nice and paying just generosity forward, which we love, especially during the holiday season. Definitely a great way to brighten our morning.
I know, and I feel like the snow is just going to get well, I know a lot of people do not like the snow, but there's other people who just like the snow gets them all like in that Christmassy winter, like, energy.
The jitterness, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely excited about that. I personally like the snow. Yesterday I was playing with my little nephew, and it was the best time ever.
Crystal, you're so nice.
I got him his little snow boots or whatever they're called, and they're so cute. They're so tiny.
How old is your nephew?
He is 2 and like a couple of months. Couple weeks.
Oh, see, little baby.
I know, he's so cute. My favorite time.
See, now is the perfect time to just go through all of your like baby pictures and just see like how we were all just dressed up in like these big puffy, jackets with like these little weird hats with the beanies, with a little ball on the top of the beanie and different star shapes and heart sizes. I might be talking very specifically. But it's so sweet seeing little children and pets. And speaking of pets in the snow, I actually did take my dog out for a walk yesterday. I was super stubborn about it. I'm here actually at my dad's place in New York City, and I was trying to convince my dad to go outside. And he was like, I don't want to go outside. I want to take a shower. Like, what are you doing? It's like 8 p.m. I don't want to go outside. I have no urge to. But, of course, first snowfall, I was like, you know what? I'm taking the dog. I'm going. I'll do it. I'll wear my mask. I'll be safe, And actually, there were families outside with children with little, little snow tools, just like digging out snow and such and just playing around. I met another dog walker who was like setting her dog on the sidewalk, taking pictures of the dog, and Maya enjoyed a little bit of snow. So it was really sweet.
I told you, snow is everything, especially for, children and pets. But speaking of snow, let's get right into our next story. Snow is continuing to fall this Thursday, of course, and during a key period in the coronavirus pandemic. And it's crazy because snowfall from northern Virginia to parts of New England on Wednesday, bringing as much as 2 feet of snow in select locations today. And officials said that they didn't expect the winter blast to disrupt vaccine distribution, which began Monday for frontline health workers. Did we see those, the videos of, New Jersey and all these other people getting the vaccine? Ooh. I'm excited about that. I'm stoked.
They were all just very excited.
Yeah.
At least the ones that I've seen, they were just kind of like, all right, I'm ready.
Right.
Okay, I'll take the needle. All right. I'm sure no one's a fan of the needle, right? But it's still very important.
But the U.S. Health and Human Service Secretary Alex Azar said Wednesday that the government is tracking the vaccine shipments precisely, and staffers have already been enrolled to receive them and believes the companies transporting them can navigate the storm. In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy exempted vaccine delivery trucks from transporting vaccines among commercial traffic on some highways. The state was anticipating more than 24 vaccine deliveries in the next day or two. The National Weather Service said Wednesday that the storm was set to bring an overabundance of hazards from the mid-Atlantic to the northeast, including freezing rain and ice in the mid-Atlantic, heavy snow in the New York City area and southern New England, strong winds and coastal flooding, and severe thunderstorms and tornadoes in North Carolina's Outer Banks. Wow. Weren't we supposed to get like 35 hours straight of snow? Or did I just hear that from some inaccurate source?
I mean, I was hearing 2 days, right? Wednesday, Thursday, and that there was supposed to be an accumulation of like 12 to 16 inches of snow, which we'll definitely talk about our experiences a little bit later.
Right. The heaviest snowfall was expected in central Pennsylvania, where a 6-decade-old record for a December snowfall could potentially be broken. I wonder how our other news contributor, Emma Coughlin, is doing. I know she was sick, I think, but I hope she's doing well. But yeah, and then I think today it's gonna be snowing again. I did see the forecast and it said that it was like an 80% chance of it to be snowing. I haven't looked out my window. Is it still snowing out by where you guys are?
So I'm going to show you guys right now. So all of our Facebook listeners and all of our radio listeners, you guys are more than welcome to check out this episode on our YouTube channel, WMSC 93. And you guys can actually take a look at my window, which is, I'm not sure if that's a compelling factor, but here we go. So this is my window right now in the city. I mean, I can't really show you guys like the ground, but there's not much snow accumulated in the city, and that's kind of expected because, we do have a lot of snowplowers and such, but about last night, you did see the snow kind of melting, right? You saw like raindrops on the window, and, just like an hour ago, that was the same. Now you're seeing that there's more snow just coming down and, powerful winds, and then you're also seeing just the snow kind of frozen on the window. So it does look like, I'm not a meteorologist, but it does look like there's gonna be more snow today.
I hope not. I feel like I one night or one day of snow is I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. Like that's all I need. But actually, I was gonna say people gotta get to work, but I mean there is a lot of people who are still working from home. But I feel like there's a lot of people who work at like these like supermarkets and like these restaurants and all these like important places that actually need to travel because they are still open. So yeah, you see now I go back to saying like yes, there should be no more snow. I think we're good with snow for a while. I mean, maybe we can try again in 2 weeks. But yeah, yesterday my brother picked me up and he couldn't get into the driveway and I think he's being lazy. He didn't want to clean it. But that in itself was a struggle. So I can only imagine, in the roads if they haven't been cleaned yet. But usually cities tend to be good with that. Mary, how is it over where you are at?
I live in a particularly small town, so the snow plowers take a while. So last time I looked at the road, it was still packed up. So I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yep. I hope you're stocked up in snacks and
Oh yeah.
food,
So
everything you may need.
yeah, so for students, right, that just successfully finished their fall semester, get a little bit of a break today, hopefully, fingers crossed, and they get to stay inside, cozy up in a blanket, cuddle with family members, and just eat junk food and enjoy movies to end holiday movies, right? Because we're in the holiday season. And for those that do have to travel today, whether they have to go to work or take care of, other situations, then please, please, please be safe out there. The conditions outside, in terms of driving are not, they're not appropriate. They're not ideal. So please drive a little bit slower, be careful, be mindful, and make sure to clean your car. Make sure to, wipe the windshields and such. I was actually on Instagram last night, and I saw our former station manager. Her name is Kate Bronstein. She she posted a picture of herself, and she's like, "Here I am, looking cute, avoiding going outside and cleaning out my car." And I feel like that's a lot of people sharing that same mentality.
Right. And, for all those who are traveling, make sure, to check out these New Jersey Transit social media or their websites. They just tweeted like an hour ago that, they are important weather related service changes, for, the trains, light rail, bus. So definitely, make sure to check that out. And I know that at 9 a.m., the governor said that he is going to be having a statewide traffic management center in Woodbridge for an update on winter storm Gale. They are having a press conference, so make sure if you live around that area, if you want to tune in. There's always good information that the governor actually tweets. I will say that the Governor Murphy, he's great at, obviously I'm sure he has people tweeting for him, but my point is that he actually retweets and tweets important information. So I always like to kind of have my post notifications on for him just because he does keep me in the loop on what's going on in New Jersey.
You should put on your bio. I
I
have
know.
Governor Murphy's notifications on 24/7. Look at me go.
I am thriving. I am a
Thriving.
No, I'm kidding. But on a serious note, yeah, it definitely, they are going to be, traffic updates for, the bus, whatever it is that you depend on. So always, 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 I encourage people to, check it out and make sure that everything, they plan their day accordingly.
I would also like to mention that our university does have a winter advisory going on right now. So from Wednesday, December 16th, which was yesterday, to today, all operations will be remote. So please, if you are in the winter session and, and professors, I bid you good luck for the remote operations today. And I'm sure that you guys already know what's going on because we did have remote operations throughout the whole fall semester, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later when Steen Gerskis comes in and talks to us here at the Morning Buzz. But moving on to moon rocks in a Chinese capsule. I'm sure you guys love space. Who doesn't love space? It's a nice stress reliever, right? Brings hope, right? So a Chinese lunar capsule returned to Earth on Thursday with fresh rock samples from the moon in more than 40 years, marking a landmark for China's advancing space program. The China National Space Administration reported that the capsule of Chang'e 5 probe landed just before 2 a.m. in Xizhiwang district of Inner Mongolia region. The Lunar Exploration Program experienced its first with collecting samples, launching a vehicle from the moon's surface and docking it with the capsule to return the samples to Earth, while the capsule remained unmanned throughout the entire time. To viewers' surprise, there's actually this Chinese news program called CCTV showed a furry white animal, possibly a fox or it could be a rodent, running in front of the capsule as it was laying on the ground. And it did stop briefly to interact with the unfamiliar object. So viewers got to see that mysterious animal. Extraterrestrial life, guys. The spacecraft's return marks the first time scientists have obtained fresh samples of lunar rocks since the former Soviet Union's Luna 24 robot probe in 1976. The newly collected rocks are thought to be billions of years younger than those obtained earlier by the US and former Soviet Union, offering new insights into the history of the moon and other bodies in the solar system. They come from a part of the moon called the Oceanus Procellarum. Oceanus Procellarum, say it with me. Or also in English, Ocean of Storms, near a site called the Mons Rumker that was believed to have been volcanic in ancient times. So the capsule brought 382 kilograms of lunar samples brought back. Rewind. So as with the 382 kilograms of lunar samples brought back by US astronauts from 1969 to 1972, they will be analyzed for age and composition and are expected to be shared with other countries. So all of these lunar rocks and samples will actually provide more information about the solar system, which is really impressive. So this capsule, Chang'e, blasted off in November 24th, and we can say that it had a successful completion of its mission.
I was curious as to what it is that what it looks like, and I'm looking at it, and it literally looks like something taken out of one of the movies of Star Wars, because it looks so
R2D2. A different form. Not really.
I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but yeah, I think it looks so funny. It's just like I don't know, is it in some pictures it looks like it's nice and short and chunky, and in other ones it seems that it's really tall. So I'm trying to look for an accurate, but I can't seem to find it yet. But nonetheless, it's super cool, and I hope that the information or the samples that you were mentioning, Kaya, it helps them in some way. I don't know how this, I'm not very sciencey, so I'm not really sure how that works, but that's good. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I think it's good, because coming back more than 40 years, I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, the premise of this mission is that, this is a capsule that was unmanned. And at the same time, it also is a great landmark record-breaking accomplishment for the Chinese space program, because this is the first time that there's a vehicle that's manning on the moon itself. It's actually bringing samples itself. This whole capsule, blasted off unmanned, right? Just from the seats of a space station in Xizhiwang district, right? So it's remarkable. We're seeing how much the space program has evolved. And, the key emphasis, which I really hope that the Chinese space program follows through, is that they're going to share the information and the research that they learn from these samples and from what they observed on the moon with other countries as well. I hope that is, because, hey, who knows? Maybe in 30 years, not 30 years, but in a couple of decades from now, we'll be able to blast off to space, right? I mean, there is that the Richard Branson, I think it's Atlantic Galacta. It's supposed to be like the first commercial, space, capsule to go up into space. So things are moving along, guys, in space, right? Which is really, really interesting. And for a person that has binged The 100, which is basically a show on Netflix that talks about like 100 years from now, like in 2050, a bunch of people, the whole human race needs to be saved by living in space. So I geeked out over seeing this article, and I love everything space oriented.
I was just about to say that you're giving me some like scientist nerd vibes, and I don't.
Oh, and you
No,
don't like it? She's like, and I don't vibe with it.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think it's so cool. But hosting this semester with you, I feel like I've learned that you kind of do have an interest in science, like like Earth related things. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I think nothing bad can come from this. I think just some like good positive stuff can come from this. And from the pictures that we saw, it seems that it would reach you like up to like your hip type of thing, like for a normal average type of person, like it'll reach up to your hip, the size of the capsule. So I think it's super cool. And again, I'm not a very big science person, well, not at least for space, but I think it's super dope. I think it looks super funny, and especially just again, I also don't watch Star Wars movies, but it still looks like it came out from there. So it's overall a nice, cute little capsule.
Yeah, that's totally that. Listen, I from hearing how you've like just interacted like with the story, it seems that you were like very close to just pinpointing the design of the capsule. So, girl, if you want to design the next one or give some, some recommendations via Instagram, I'm sure they might listen. At least maybe the US space program might.
I'm like, I'm not a science person, but I would like to
I would like to inform you that. How about you, Mary? I'm sorry, Crystal?
I said I'm gonna send them an email and be like, I need you to update the design of this capsule, please and thank you.
All right, let's work together with the fellow Montclair State University student. How about you, Mary? Are you a space fanatic?
I am a space connoisseur. I love it.
Ooh.
I'm very glad. Like, I haven't heard a lot about the Chinese space program, so I'm really glad that they were able to go up there and get space rocks that are billions of years younger, which can, help us find the composition of the moon. I just think it's overall awesome.
Yeah, I see, Mary. This is the first time that I learned that you're a space. What did you refer to yourself as?
Connoisseur.
A connoisseur, a space connoisseur. That deserves to be in your social media bio. Also,
yes.
we're all trend. We all have amazing like bio stuff right now. Just I don't know. So Crystal's pinpointing the designs of the capsule. I'm telling everyone what they should be putting in their bio. It's just a fun, lighthearted crew.
But speaking of bios,
Yeah.
have you guys seen Barack Obama's memoir, A Promised Land, that has already sold 3 million copies? Can you believe that? I mean, I can't believe that. Hello, he was the former president. So doesn't come too much of a shock, but it's been a month since Barack Obama's memoir, A Promised Land, has been published, and according to AP News, it is well on its way to become the best-selling presidential memoir in modern times. Crown announced Wednesday that sales have topped 3.3 million copies in the US and Canada, within range of Bill Clinton's My Life and George W. Bush's Decision Points, both of which have sold between 3.5 million and 4 million copies. And I think that is super cool. A Promised Land is the first of 2 planned volumes that covers Obama's election in 2019 and much of his first term. There's no release date yet for the second book, but he does plan on having a second one, which I think is pretty cool. And in previous works written before he became president include the million sellers Dreams from My Father and The Audacity of Hope. I like that one. I like that title, The Audacity of Hope. which I think is pretty cool. And I'm not sure you guys have seen the cover, but it's like I thought it was interesting the fact that it was like nice and like simple. It was just a picture of him, and it was like it looks so like
Elegant, you know
simple,
what I mean? Like
elegant.
it's a statement, right? It kind of
Yeah,
distracts from the message.
and it kind of reminded me of Michelle Obama's Becoming book that has
Hmm.
sold more than 8 million copies in North America since coming out in 2018. I myself have a copy, and I don't know.
She does.
I do. Funny story. I used to talk with my friend about how like I really wanted to get the book, but it was kind of pricey to me because I wanted to get the hardcover one. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it when I can treat myself, right, type of thing, like for Christmas or something. And I was gonna get it that I think last Christmas, and my friend ended up giving it to me as a Christmas gift. So I was like, oh, I
Oh.
I didn't have to spend my coins. No, I'm
Spend
kidding.
my coins, my very little coins.
Right. So she ended up giving it to me, and yeah, I have it. So I think I don't know. I'm trying to think if I would want to read Barack Obama's memoir. Nothing against him. I don't know. I feel like with Michelle Obama, she did so much as the first lady, and like she was just all about like healthy eating for children and
Yeah,
like
I would see that all the time on like Disney
health.
Channel. Yeah.
Right. Which is why I wanted to get the book and kind of really read her side of the things. But I don't know. I feel like Barack Obama. What about you, Mary? What about you, Kaya? Do you guys plan on getting the book?
I'm not really a memoir person, so I think if I were to get it, it would just sit on the shelf. So,
I like the honesty, Mary.
All right, we're going to continue this honest reel. So I actually don't I save book reading for breaks because I already read so much, when it comes to like class, and like I'm like that student that actually like reads this reading assignments, given by professors, right? So if they assign a reading assignment, I go all out. I highlight notes, I take notes. So I really try to keep that absorbed my brain, and I actually have a really bad memory spans, and not an excuse, but I do save reading for breaks. So I might actually look further into A Promised Land, because Barack Obama was such an influential president. Like, he's one of the most beloved presidents in our nation, right? And it's really interesting that this book is kind of surfaced around the 2008 election and also his just first term, right? So I kind of want to know what it's like to be the president of the United States with kind of all these hurdles thrown at you, right?
Especially since he was like the first Black president.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Like, it definitely can have a different perspective or a different turn on things, and it would be good to hear from like coming from him. So yeah, you're right. But I totally agree, Kaya, that I usually am that student too that is like, I did my reading, check. I did my homework, check. All
Check.
that good stuff. I am a dedicated student. So yeah, I also don't really like to read during like the semester when my classes are going on, just because I am already reading so much for my other classes that I don't want to like burn myself out. But
Mhm.
again, this winter break, I'm excited to, I have a couple of books that I've been meaning to read and I haven't gone around. So definitely will be doing that. But yeah, I am looking forward to also reading the memoir of A Promised Land.
I know. And I've yet to see the documentary, Michelle Obama's documentary on Netflix. Like, I've yet to see that. I need to see that.
Yes, I agree. I haven't watched it, and again, because I haven't had time. But now that we're going to be off until February 8th, which is when the spring semester is going to be starting,
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of weeks that I can fit the movie and fit a book or two.
I mean, so there's like multiple things. Like, Michelle Obama is like, she's on the roll here because, not only does she have her Becoming memoir, but she also has a documentary on Netflix, and then also has a podcast on Spotify, right? So there's so much that you can learn about from Michelle Obama. And she's always been, like, as first lady, she's always been so connected with like the general public that it kind of astonished me, because I don't feel like I've seen other first ladies be so connected to the public like that. and do that much. I don't know. And I feel like she was on like TV more, and she was more like recording more messages directly to students. And like, obviously I was younger back then, so like it really meant a lot to me that she was like saying, eat healthy, take care of yourself, on like the kid channels, you know. That really meant a lot to me.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because not trying to get into politics or anything, but I think it's for this administration. It's like what you said, because of Michelle Obama and because of everything that she did, and all like how open she was and to like communication with like the public, that I felt like I had those same high expectations from the first lady now.
For
Um,
Melania, yeah.
mhm. And to not, well, at least for me, my personal opinion, I don't think
Out of
that
the station.
right, not of the stations, just my Crystal Santos personal opinion. I don't think that she like met it, and I know they're all going to be different, but I feel like Michelle Obama set the bar so high. Like it's not even about politics, it's just like what they did and what I've seen and what I've heard. To be honest, like again, my opinion, I think that Michelle Obama set the bar so high that, you know, you had to step up your game. But it is what it is. But I know she's done her. Melania has done a couple of things, but I don't know. In terms of first ladies and in terms of presidents that I've been alive and been able to pay attention to everything that goes on, Michelle Obama is my girl.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to spend like the next 10 minutes like analyzing Melania's, and accomplishments, but yeah, it seems that Melania kind of said, like in terms like when she addresses the public, she says it's kind of short and sweet in a way, and it does sound like a little bit scripted, not gonna lie, but as women, we have to support other women also, right? So
Okay, Kaya, sorry.
thinking, I don't, no, like I'm not gonna be like, okay, let's hate on Melania.
Right.
It's still, it's still an accomplishment to be first lady. There's a lot of responsibilities that come with it that we till this day will not fully understand, even whether you're reading memoirs or looking at documentaries and such. So I mean, I try to think a little bit higher. I try not to like judge too much, but
You're
listen,
a good person, Kaya.
I try to be. You're a great person too, Crystal. It's fine. No, it's good that we're having these conversations. And honestly, I want to see a promised land. I want to read it, because it seemed like the copies that are being sold are kind of jumping up, like comparing to George W. Bush's Decision Points, right, which was sold between 3.5 million and 4 million copies, right? Just this Wednesday, there are 3.3 million copies for A Promised Land. So we are seeing the sales climb.
I never want to make everything about like competition, and I don't, but sometimes one of my friends once told me, oh, it's not a competition. And it's not about being a competition, it's about analyzing everything. And why I was saying that is because while I was reading this article from AP News, it basically said that will the A Promised Land memoir from Barack Obama surpass the amount of sales that Becoming, his wife, Michelle Obama, wrote. And she sold 8 million copies in North America, and he has sold 3 million copies. And I know it's not a competition, but I'm just curious to see, because as the president, like I feel like I don't want to put them into hierarchy, but we do have to be realistic that the first lady, the president, obviously people are like, oh, the president. So especially the United States. So I wonder if his memoir, Promised Land, will sell as many as 8 million copies or surpass that.
Oh yeah, of Becoming. Yeah, now there's like that inner competition between Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. They're gonna be like, good morning, Michelle. See, now we got 3.3 million and 800,000 copies, and then Michelle's gonna be like, well, let's wait a little longer to see if you match my 8 million, and then if it gets closer, I'm totally kidding. I can't really predict what they talk about in the mornings, but what I can say is that now is a very, very special time. that we will be talking to the Dean Gerskis, the Dean of the College of the Arts, very, very soon. Just stay tuned for that after our break.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, hello, Dean Gerskis.
I'm sorry, I was out shoveling and I lost track of the time.
Oh, don't you worry. I mean, I'm currently in the city right now, and I was showing my window to the viewers on Facebook Live, and you're not really seeing too much snow in the city. The snow plowers have been on point, but the snow is coming in.
Yeah. Well, it's not too bad out here. I think New Jersey got it pretty bad, right? I'm on Long Island.
Oh, right. No, I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier with Mary and Crystal, who are actually currently in New Jersey. And you guys, what would you say it looks like right now?
So I just peeked on my window very, very quickly before the show, but it was like to my backyard, so I can't really see the roads. But from what I saw, there's definitely there's a good amount of snow, and I feel like because it's windy, it's just kind of got everywhere. So it looks messy outside. So you definitely gotta put on our coat, put on our boots, and head outside. I have to actually shovel.
So besides the winter storm talk, welcome back to WMSC Upper Montclair. We are so excited to be joined in our virtual studio by Dean Daniel Gerskis, Dean of the College of the Arts at Montclair State. It's been a few months since it's been a few months since we got a chance to have the Dean on with us, and we did miss our Dean's Playlist segment.
Oh,
welcome,
boy.
Dean. Yeah, we're very excited to hear more about that. Welcome, Dean Gerskis. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. Thanks for inviting me. It's great to see you. And I always love being in the studio, but this is the next best thing.
Absolutely. We're trying to make things work from the comfort of our home. And we see that so for our Facebook listeners, we see that Dean Gerskis is wearing a flannel shirt in the holiday spirit. Dean Gerskis just came out from shoveling the snow.
Right. It's more the spirit of shoveling, I think, than the holiday, but I'll take that. I'll take that.
You're receiving your daily exercise, right?
I am. It's heavy snow. I just want to let you know. It's like it feels like it's 95% water. So it is a good workout, good upper body workout and heart workout.
Not excited to go back to New Jersey, not one bit. So Dean Gerskis, once again, we're super excited to have you on today and very honored. So we're going to start by asking you, as an educator and on the record, do you look forward to more snow days as well? And has COVID-19 changed snow days forever?
Well, I think it absolutely has. When I was sitting in my office where I am right now, looking out last night as the snow was coming down. And there's a sort of a sense memory that I have when I look out and I see the snow blowing around in the way that it was, that it would be a day to be at home and to work here. And last night I realized, well, that's pretty much every day. So when we first started the lockdown way back in March, I commented to a friend of mine that this is going to be one very long snow day. It turned out to be that way. We have had some activity on campus. I do get to my office, I would say once or twice, sometimes 3 times a week. We've had about 40% of our courses in the College of the Arts with some in-person instruction, not all people in the class at one time. So there's been activity. I would not say that it's bustling, but until Monday, there was some humanity around, and people, I think, really enjoyed being together. I have to say, I saw behind those masks, I sensed smiling faces.
Smiling faces. And you did mention that you actually did take a couple of days per week to go back to campus. So did you feel like that gave you a sense of routine and just a chance to really kind of see firsthand how things are working out on campus?
Oh, without a doubt. The great thing was really when we started to have a lot of people come back in my office. There are actually 11 people who work in the dean's office. It was so refreshing to be able to walk into someone's office and just say, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? Or just to say hi or to talk about events that were happening. And that sense of normality was very good, but the ability to collaborate. Zoom is great. I mean, I think if I think back to 3 or 4 years ago, and if we had been in that situation then, it would have been a total disaster because we would not have had this technology. And also at the university, we were still pushing around papers for a lot of the things that we were doing. And so now everything is totally digital, and obviously we're having the Zoom call. So it really facilitates the ability to work remotely. But there's nothing like, there's nothing like being in person. There's just something about seeing people and talking to them and having, essentially insignificant contact. But that's what makes humans human, I think.
I agree, Dean Chris, because I feel like I, as a student, I feel like being in person, being in class, getting to meet people and mingle, it's definitely one of the aspects of college that I enjoyed the most. And, this has been such a different year for all of us, and many of us have been occupied and concerned with students' well-being and, us getting our education and how we're dealing with everything. But as a human being, I am almost positive you've had your fair share of adapting and overcoming obstacles in this pandemic. How have you dealt with all of this?
Well, I think from the start, we knew we were going to have some challenges. Back in March, it was probably the second week after everyone was online that I really understood that for a lot of our courses, remote instruction was simply not going to work. No matter how effective our teachers were, how dedicated, no matter how committed our students are, there are just certain things like dance that are better done in person. So I went to work really back in March, thinking about ways that we could work together safely, identifying those courses that really would benefit by being on campus, and then thinking about how to make the environment, the practices as effective as possible. And we began first with the spaces themselves. We have UV filters in some studios. We have air scrubbers in other places. In addition to that, we do daily protocols. We reduced in-person attendance to about 50% of any given class. And in musical theater and dance, we have a cohort system where 50% of the students are in the studio every other week, and then the other weeks they're online. We had a very rigorous testing protocol as well. Anyone who was in what we consider to be a high contact area, which would include music as well, they were tested every other week before they would come back. So all of this worked together to really create a very, very safe environment. We had not one single instance of a student or a faculty member or a staff member contracting the virus as a result of being in a studio or in a working space on campus. In fact, we had only one case of what we would call community transmission, and that was among roommates, 2 roommates in the college, a little bit more across the university. Most of the people who were getting the virus, even if they were not getting sick, were bringing it from home, bringing it from parties. Don't have parties.
That is a very nice PSA. Thank you.
And that's really where the danger comes. If people just simply stayed on campus, then we would be in a much better place all around. So, I mean, one of the messages that I want to send to your listeners is that it's totally safe to be on campus. It's totally safe to study in person. That's not where the danger is. And I know that there's a high level of anxiety about that, but it just isn't the case. The facts speak for themselves.
And as you're saying, you know, as you're reassuring that campus is actually a very safe place when it comes to COVID-19, and that the transition, you know, in terms of contracting, right, have been from outside of campus. Do you, you know, do you believe that having students that are dorming on campus, limited to pretty much staying on campus and also recording, whether they need to leave campus for vital errands and such, do you think that might actually help in terms of promising a future for spring semester with a little less COVID-19 cases?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. So the protocols for people living on campus are going to be a little bit stricter in the spring. And students are going to be encouraged to do exactly what you said. Obviously, we're not running a minimum security prison. People are free to come and go. We're encouraging them not to come and go, frankly. And there will be protocols in place for their reentry into the residence halls, and practices that we established in the spring will be, excuse me, in the fall will be heightened in the spring. So that's a good thing. Vaccinations will also be very important. We hope to see people through your age vaccinated sometime in the mid to late spring. That's going to be huge. So a lot of these things, I think, are coming together to really suggest that the fall semester, while it won't be completely normal, will look a lot like what it used to be, and college will begin to resemble again what college used to be. I'm very optimistic about that.
And with COVID-19, obviously disrupt and, you know, kind of changing and altering our life, you know, our lifestyles and just our daily tasks and such. How would you say that COVID-19 has altered your daily tasks as a Dean of College of the Arts at Montclair State?
Well, I can tell you that I think about it a lot. That's the first thing. You know, in my list of job responsibilities during the semester, that has been at the top, and everything that sort of feeds into that. I meet once a week with the president and health officials about testing and results and practices on campus, and we're always thinking about that. When we had the few instances where someone tested positive and potentially exposed other people, thankfully, not in any serious way, we had to react. So it was top of mind. And I would say that was the biggest impact on my life this past semester, which was it's omnipresent. And second, remote work means that every day is a work day. So it's, you know, you leave the office and you go home and there's always email or something like that. But when you're working at home, it starts as soon as you get up and it continues as soon as you go to bed, until you go to bed rather. And I would say that has really extended our work life and the sort of balance, the work life, home life balance. Forget about it; doesn't exist. And you know, and all of those people who over the years dreamt about having a job where they could work at home, I say to them now, how do you like that?
How do you like that now?
So
not
that
9 to 5.
Be careful what you wish for; you may get it. So it's been you know, it's been pretty busy. I would say that, and you know, and I have a lot of respect for you and your fellow students, because you know, whether you're doing all remote or doing a large part remote, the intense concentration that's required to stay focused in a Zoom class and to stay motivated and to do assignments, it's pretty daunting. And I know that a lot of students are really struggling with that, and they should know that people like me know that, and we are working very, very hard to get everything back to a place that resembles what it used to. But it's going to take time. And I know that we do research all the time, and we sample student opinion, and you know, students by and large aren't really happy. You know, big surprise. Someone alert the media, and basically they want the subtext is people want college to be college again, and I totally get that.
Absolutely. But I do have to say that with Montclair State is a special case because there are many major universities that actually went completely remote, right? And Montclair State was able to have in-person instructions as well as remote. And especially for those courses that you were talking about a little bit earlier that do need to be in person because hands-on learning is extremely crucial, especially in the College of the Arts and in the media field, right? When you're working with cameras and such. So I have to say that as a student and a member of WMSC, I've been very gratified to have been able to come to the studio every Thursday and report and air from the studios to our listeners. It's been, very, very rewarding, as well as I've been safe. I take things, I take very large precautions turn of COVID. So the two combined is a great package.
And I'm curious, Dean Gerskis, in what ways did you try to maintain a sense of connectivity and routine among professors and students?
We continue to have our meetings. I meet with the faculty and staff every month in a college meeting. We discuss pressing issues, upcoming events, initiatives. They share with me their opinions about things. Those continued. I usually meet with the faculty in each academic area at least once a semester, and I mostly did that. I missed one, I think, this semester. And we talk about what they're hearing. They share with me things that they've heard. The leadership in each area, whether it's one of the schools, School of Music, School of Communication and Media, or either of the departments, I meet with them once a month. I have to tell you that I'm on the phone every day with Dr. Strudler. I'm on the phone every day with Professor Masaki in the School of Music, as well as Professor Muggleston and Dr. Lilithan. So there's a lot of flow of information in both directions. And because we are under COVID, it doesn't mean that we have not had our obligations that we ordinarily would about rehiring people, about evaluating them. So we've just pushed on.
And that is amazing to hear. That is another PSA for everyone. Continue to push on, continue to move forward. We do have higher ups, especially like the Dean of the College of the Arts, that can relate to our experiences and are trying extremely hard, working every single day to better our education. It's very gratifying. Thank you so much for all that you've done, Dean Gerskis. We do appreciate it. But on to some fun, Dean Gerskis, because I heard from a little bird that you enjoy sharing your music playlists, right? So do you mind giving us a quick summary as to what your Spotify 2020 rap playlist looks like?
Well, I actually do Apple. So
Apple, that's perfectly fine too.
So I have Replay 2020. And I have to begin by saying that I totally question the top secret algorithms that Apple Music uses. Mm-hmm. Because I swear some songs in my top 100 I've never listened to in 2020. So, and now, I don't know who's listening on my phone, but in any case, I have some skepticism about this. So the little bit of a warning here, there's nothing even close to current music on this list, but you have to forgive me because I'm at that age. And finally, I'm not going to go through all 100, but I'll do the top 10.
Okay.
And so I'm going to start with one of my favorites that Apple says is one of my favorites, which is Hackensack by Fountains of Wayne. Mm-hmm. And my favorite line, I saw you talking with Christopher Walken. Almost, and I should point out that almost in my top 10 were two other Fountains of Wayne favorites, Fire Island and, of course, Stacy's Mom. As you know, Adam Schlesinger grew up very close to campus, the late, great Adam Schlesinger. Another one of my top was the acoustic version of Zombie by the Cranberries. I love that electric guitar lick, but I also like the acoustic version, and I came onto it later in life. And since we're in Ireland, Van Morrison, Into the Mystic, that's another one of my favorites, and clearly Apple agrees with that. Next comes from a few years ago, Welcome to Your Life by Group Love. And for those music aficionados in the audience, I need to point out that the hook in that song is the same one as in You're a Big Girl Now by Bob Dylan. So if anyone in your spare time wants to listen to those songs side by side or one after another, you'll see that once again in life, I'm totally correct. I like the Skinny Love version by Birdie.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's
I
a classic
also,
for us.
Yeah. I also like the MTV unplugged version of About a Girl by Nirvana. And I just realized that I've been listening to a lot of Pink Floyd this year without any, there's not really a lot of plan in that. But there, nonetheless, Wish You Were Here popped up. And then a song that really sort of started beating into my head the first time I heard it, which is Hero by Family of Man, that was in A Boy's Life. Tracy Chapman, Fast Car. And then the last of the top 10 is Ed Sheeran, Thinking Out Loud. And I should also point out, since I'm criticizing Apple Music right now, that Ed Sheeran's song A-Team almost made it to the top of the list, because when I turn on my car with my iPhone plugged in, A-Team, A, is the first song in my collection. And so it pops up every time I turn on my car. And it's a little annoying.
I think Apple's trying to send you a message.
Well, they are.
They're like, you need to listen to A-Team by Ed Sheeran. There is no other way out of it. and that questions their top secret algorithm, correct?
It does, absolutely. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to allegedly this year. I need independent confirmation on that, and I'm not going to get it from Apple. But anyway, that's.
And for the holidays, what would you say is your top song, like your go-to? Every year you listen to it without a miss.
Oh, well, it changes a little bit, but I would say just very quickly, because I know we're bumping up against the time here, that Tom Petty's Christmas All Over Again. Whenever I hear that song, I know it's time to put up the Christmas tree.
That's a sweet classic as well. Dean Gerskis, thank you so much for coming on to our last Thursday edition of the Morning Buzz. What a treat has it been. It's been monumental, just having a great show with my dear co-host Crystal Santos, and our news contributor is Mary and Emma, as well as our sports contributor Tommy. A special shout out to the entire crew, the Morning Buzz team, and General Manager Annabelle Poland. We've had such a great run for this fall semester. And Dean Gerskis, we're gonna play a song. We're gonna close the show with a song of your choice. And what would that song be?
Well, it's going to be the version of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch by the Misfits.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for inviting me. Have a very, very happy new year and a restful break. And I look forward to seeing you in some version in February.
Of course. Thank you so much.